jaw-dropping good. Hello and welcome back, or welcome to the Knitting Page podcast. My name's Paige and I'm the face behind the Knitting Page podcast. And I'm sorry if the camera just shook. My dog was scooching under the couch. But yeah, I decided to switch up my filming location today, and today I'm going to film from outside. It is very hot today. It is 32 degrees Celsius, but it feels like 40 with the humidity. And yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying the heat. But I also, today I can maybe put some footage in. But I went to the beach with my dog and we went for some swims. I got to knit on my picnic blanket. It was really nice. And I know it's hot, but when winter comes, I'll be wishing it was this hot. So I'm soaking it up. I'm filming outside. And for today's podcast episode, it's not actually a podcast, but I'm going to be doing an episode on, or a little talk about summer 2023 knitting trends. And I just want to preface this by saying that everything that I'm going to be talking about is what is based off of my knitting algorithm, and so your knitting algorithm might be totally different from mine, but this is what I'm seeing when I scroll through Instagram, which is kind of where I mostly get a lot of it's where I get most of my inspiration from. And I've really been enjoying Instagram and connecting with others and finding new projects, new patterns, new designers, new yarns. And so I kind of want to share about things that I've been seeing a lot of on Instagram. And I also want to say that, sometimes when I will always notice the model of car I drive, but I may not notice other models. And I think it's because I always look for my car, and so it seems like I see it more often just because that's what I'm aware of. And so some of these trends, I think there could be a bit of that going on where I am noticing something, or I notice something and therefore I look for it and therefore I notice it. So it's whoa, I see so much of this, but you may or may not agree with that. Anyways, I think these videos are super fun to watch, and so I want to make one. So 2023 summer knitting trends. So first off, I think the first trend I've been seeing is summer vests. And I think, sorry, I'm just going to look on my computer because that's where my notes are. There's 3 that come to mind, and I actually did a little poll on my story because I would like to knit one. Whether or not I'll have time, I don't know. I also didn't add it to my summer 2023 knitting plans because, again, I've just been wild whip woman energy is what I'm calling it. Wild whip woman energy. But the Soul Top by Mochi Knits, I believe. Everything that I talk about, I will have links in the description below too. But the Soul Top is this really nice DK weight garment that has closures that are little ties, and I feel a lot of people are knitting it and wanting to knit it. The vacation vest that also got released this spring is another one that I'm seeing a lot of people wanting to knit, and that it's been popping up. And the Thelma top. Haven't been seeing a lot of people knit it, but I think the aesthetic of the Thelma top is very on par with what's going on in general fashion with these vests that a lot of people are wearing just as a top and not with a shirt on underneath. And I think the Thelma top does a really good job at replicating that fashion that you a top that you get at Abercrombie or H&M or something like that. So those are some summer trends that I'm seeing. I didn't see any of that last year, and I'm seeing them coming in this year, and I think part of it is from mainstream fashion and that getting pushed into the knitting world. I love all of them, but I think the one that I would be most leaning towards knitting myself is the Thelma top, because for teaching, the other tops, sorry, there's a fly that just buzzed around. The other tops don't have full proper closures, so I'd always have to wear a top on underneath. But the Thelma top does have that nice button closure at the front, so I do think I could get away with wearing it as a top with high-waisted trousers, that kind of vibe. Maybe if I can find a photo, I'll put it here, but no promises. So yeah, summer trend number 1 is knitting or knitted vests. And that summer vest where most of the time that these tops are being modeled, it's the models aren't wearing another garment underneath. It is just the vest as a top. And yeah, again, seeing that in mainstream fashion, and then I see it trickling into the knitting world with those 3 patterns in particular. If you have seen any other knitted vest patterns, or if you've also like noticed this on your feed, let me know. I love to connect about knitting. Okay, trend number 2. Okay, so I'm calling this trend POP for Pop of Pink. And I was on a run the other night and I was like, oh my gosh, the Barbie movie is influencing the knitting world because, you know, Barbie, pink. And I've honestly been seeing a lot of pops of pink. And so it's the summer of POP, pop of pink. And I could say it's being influenced by the Barbie movie. So I don't know if that's true at all, but I was like, oh my gosh, Barbie's coming out this July. And I feel like so many individual creators and designers have been like doing garments in like a bright pink, and I've fallen into this trend. I'm like, I think it started out with Garno Slicks. I'm also not sure if I'm saying her name properly, but again, links below, and I'll post a photo here of this beautiful blouse number 1 that she knit, which, by the way, this is my blouse number 1 that I'm wearing it the only way I think I can wear it today, and that's like as this little overtop thing. Like a bougie golfer top. But I don't know. I wanted to like throw on some knitwear, and this was a recent top that hadn't gotten a lot of love. So because it's been so hot that I feel like a full long sleeve garment's hard to wear. But anyways, Garno Slick test knit for My Favorite Things Knitwear this beautiful fuchsia. It was knitting for all of Pure Silk in the colorway fuchsia, blouse number 1, and that was the test knitter where I was like, I want to knit this garment because it is so beautiful. And I was like, that pink is so fun, like, oh my goodness. And so I mean, I ended up choosing this like dusty lilac color, but I definitely do want something that is like bright and poppy. So I'll go on this train of thought. But this past weekend was Canada Day, and so a lot of Canadian yarn shops were having sales for Canada Day. And so Hand Knit Yarn Studio, which is based in Hamilton, Ontario, had 20% off of their plant-based or summer yarns. They didn't call it plant-based, they just called it summer yarns. And so I was like, just looking, you know, whatever, scrolling, kind of seeing what was there, what wasn't there. And then I came across, and let me just show you this. But like, oh, this is Mojave, which is 60% cotton and 40% linen in the color fuchsia. And it is that pop of pink that I'm craving, that Barbie pink, like the Barbie girl summer, maybe not a Barbie girl summer, but I do want a pop of pink garment. And so I got 4 skeins of this with the intentions of making a t-shirt. Annie Knits, who's also here on Instagram, she knit the poppy tee in the Mojave yarn in like this beautiful electric blue color. But I'm thinking of the Ecru Tee by Second Knit in this color. I just like the more boxy fit of the Ecru Tee than the poppy tee. But yeah, going back to this pop of pink, Garno Slick I feel like started the whole thing. At least that was like the first designer I was like, dang, that is pink and that is beautiful. Sorry, Nardlin made her Neptune top that got released this summer, but she made one of her samples in, again, I also think fuchsia by Knitting for Olive in Pure Silk. And so there's a pop of pink. And Sari is like usually someone that does like a lot of neutrals and like earthy tones, but this summer she's been like experimenting with a lot of bright colors. She also did the neon yellow Kuutar top. But yeah, neon pink, sorry Nordlin. There it is, POP, summer of POP. I also, the line loop top by Other Loops, there's one test knitter, I'll put the photo here, where she's doing this beautiful hot pink with white stripes, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, so yeah, I was kind of looking at options to do that top when I was looking at like the sale yarns this past weekend, but I was like, a bright pink t-shirt, like, come on, that will be so good. But I think like a striped pink garment. Oh, also there's the I guess there's the one test knit that did summer or sweater number 25 in a bright pink, and then there's also another test knitter for maybe test knitter, or just they made it in like the a lined loop sweater or something like that by Other Loops that was like that bright pink and the red. But yeah, sorry Nordland, hot pink. The line loop top, again, just that another sample. Like I feel like most people go for like neutrals, but then I just feel like the bold colors that like people have been going for have been leaning towards pink. Friday Knits, I don't know, she posted on her story a couple days ago of this like beautiful hot pink garment that she's working on. I have no idea what that garment is because it's kind of like, you know, like a muffled up shot. But I think that will be absolutely beautiful. And this the next one I'm about to mention is like jaw-dropping good. And that is this like ruffle blouse that Nitharina is designing. So Nitharina is kind of like a smaller designer, but like, man, she has potential. Like, I mean, her designs are already so amazing, and I just want more people to know about them because I'm like, everything she knits, I'm like, that is beautiful and like so unique, but also so like classic. But yeah, she has this like beautiful ruffle blouse. Again, I'll throw a photo here, of the in this bright pink, and it is so gorgeous. And I'm like, there it is, summer of POP. She also did her like wrap top, which I'm actually test knitting, and her samples in like this nice, like more of like a corally peachy pink, not quite as like bright and like eye-catching as this, but still like pink. And I was like, man, that looks so beautiful, so feminine. My sample's in green, so I was on the POP trend at that point, but like POP is happening this summer. I guarantee you this is getting cast on real soon. Oh, Tee number 1, again, I was like looking at all these test knitters, and okay, I'm probably gonna butcher this name, but Strika Litmie. I have no idea if I'm saying that right, but if I am saying that right, let me know. And if you want to phonetically type out how to say it right, that would also be awesome if you know how to say this, because it's in a language I don't speak. But she test knit for My Favorite Things Knitwear, Tee number 1, and she also did this like bright pink t-shirt, and I was like, that is so fun, so summery. And I feel like summer's the time where like if you're gonna rock a pink shirt, like now's the time to do it. Also, an aside, as a teacher, I feel like there are theme days for everything, and like February there's like pink shirt day, and so like have this knitted pink shirt, like that is a shirt I can wear every February for pink shirt day. Like, I don't know, I feel like you need a color of every t-shirt as a teacher, like orange shirt day, like we had green shirt day, like which I hadn't heard of before, but I guess like it was for mental health. Usually I'd associate green for like an Earth Day sort of thing, but yeah, I feel like as a teacher, having a pink shirt is like, I'm gonna wear that for sure once a year, and like I think I'm gonna be wearing it more than once a year because I love a boxy t-shirt, and like, I don't know, I'm like obsessed with this pink right now. So yes, summer of POP is happening, and I've also, maybe I'll just like, I'll throw some random, I took some screenshots of other smaller designers and makers that have been like hopping on this pink train, whether or not they know it. But yeah, summer of POP. I don't know, Barbie, summer of POP. I think there's a connection. I'm kidding. I know that correlation does not mean causation, but I think the Barbie movie might be slightly influencing the knitting world. Okay, so kind of on that trend of, well, not on the trend of summer of POP, but on the trend of a lot of designers coming out with like Tee number 1 and the poppy tee, classic tees, is summer trend number 3. I feel like every major designer, I know there's probably some that I don't follow, but all the ones that I follow, everyone released their own version of a classic tee this summer. I talked about a few earlier, but starting off strong, we had big designer PK, Petite Knit, coming out with the poppy tee. And I feel like Petite Knit, she has her Cumulus tee, but other than that, like a lot of her tees will have some sort of something going on. So she came out, poppy tee, like this nice classic sleek design, not too oversized, but again, I like saw it and I was like, ooh, maybe I should knit that. But I don't think I'm gonna go for the poppy tee this summer. It's not fully calling my name. I'm getting dragged towards more of like an oversized knit. But Petite Knit coming out with a classic tee. And then I felt like a couple days later, My Favorite Things Knitwear comes out with Tee #1. And like, she is huge. I know there's like a lot of kind of issues and like stuff with her with size inclusivity, and she has been making an effort to make her new patterns more size inclusive instead of some of her original patterns where there's only 3 sizes. Like, what? But now she's going from like size extra small to size 4XL, I think. 3XL or 4XL. I think 4XL. But Tee #1 came out, her first ever tee, and she's like a major designer. She's never designed a t-shirt. And to me, I prefer Tee #1 over the poppy tee just because it is more of that, like, I like the wider sleeve on the Tee #1 compared to the poppy tee and that like oversized look. Although, yeah, I don't love it like super oversized, but I just like that fit more than the poppy tee. But yeah, My Favorite Things Knitwear are coming out with a classic tee. And then you have the Crayabea. And the Crayabea, like, man, her patterns are phenomenal. I purchased the Tolsta Tee, haven't cast it on yet, but I love that she comes out with like the Tolsta Tee fingering, and like Petite Knit will come out with like the June top light or the June top, and it's like you have to buy the same 2 different patterns for the same top just because they're at a different gauge. I don't know. I feel like she makes enough money that she could just throw them all into one, you know? But the Tolsta Tee, the Crayabea, is like, I'm coming out with a fingering one because a lot of people knit fingering weight garments in the summer, and like, that's such a wonderful thing to do. And you know what? I'm just gonna add it to the original pattern as like an option. Like, what amazing! So you don't have to buy like the Tolsta Tee and the Tolsta Tee Light. You can just buy the Tolsta Tee, which is what I have, and I'm excited to knit it. I posted in my summer 2023 knitting plans the yarn that I'm thinking of knitting it in. But yeah, another big designer coming out with what you call it, a classic tee. Nice, good old raglan construction. And then you have Ozetta. And Ozetta does have a couple classic tees. Like Moonset Tee's been super big. The Miles Tee is another one that she has. It's fairly classic. But this summer she's like, bam, bam, I'm coming out with not just 1, but 2 classic tee patterns. And the Air Tee, which is the one that has been recently released. Man, I am so excited to knit that. I just love that back panel and that construction. But again, here's another designer coming out with a classic tee. Like, that I think is just like a nice oversized look, but then it just has those little details that just make it so good. And now she has the Lakes Tee in testing, and that will come out later this summer too. And the Lakes Tee again is, I assume, similar construction to the Lakes sweater, but as a t-shirt. And again, a classic tee, just plain stockinette, like nothing too big going on. And honestly, like, so happy that these are coming out, because when is a plain t-shirt gonna go out of style? I don't know. I'm gonna wait for the day, and I'll probably die waiting, because I think classic tees will always be in. Okay, so Ozetta, 2 classic tees, amazing. And then the Knit Pro Girl, a bit of a flare. She had some stripes to match her Farnham sweater. Now she has the Farnham tee, but again, fairly big designer. I'm sorry if that car just made too much noise. But again, a fairly big designer coming out with a classic tee. And that's one, I think I'd like to knit the sweater before the tee. I just love that like pinstripe look. But again, another big designer that everyone seems to love and people are knitting. And I feel like she's someone that's like growing. But there you go, classic tee. Other loops. I really like her designs. I know they don't have the biggest size range, which is kind of an L, but she also came out with the Lane Loop tee this year, which again, a classic tee with these like little details that kind of just spice it up a little bit. Classic tee. Again, hers is quite oversized, and she has like fairly long sleeve length compared to some of them. And if I knit it, I'd probably make them a little shorter, just because I feel like it's like a half sleeve length, and I would probably go like a quarter. But I do love the raglan details on that tee. But there's another fairly large designer, I feel like she blew up with her twist loop top, that came out with a classic tee. And my dog is trying to escape right now, which is why the camera's shaking. And by say escape, I mean come out from under the couch, because she's weird and likes to go under couches. I don't know if you have a dog and they do that. I know, I'm talking about you. But let me know below. And then, Paula Streaked, who I feel like is also fairly popular. She came out with the Sonya Shirt this year, which is a fingering weight, again, oversized classic t-shirt. And then a couple others that I found while kind of looking for tees this summer was the Lucy Tee by Cookie the Knitter. Again, they're all classic tees. And yeah, that one kind of reminds me a bit more like the Poppy Tee because it has the ribbed detailing. But again, beautiful classic tee, some nice positive ease. And then the one that I'm planning to knit with my fuchsia Mojave is the Ecru Tee by Second Knit. And I just love the oversized boxy bagginess of this shirt. And I feel like those fits I find really, really wearable. And I also find them really comfortable and really easy to style and really flattering on me. And I like stuff like that. So I'm planning to knit the Ecru Tee in Mojave, and assuming I need gauge and the fabric works, but I'm super excited about that. Oh, and one last one is Garnoslicht, who had that beautiful blouse number 1 for our summer of POP, kicking it off strong. She is designing a classic tee in tip line, which I feel like if that comes out this summer, I may be knitting it, because I knit the Alice top, which tick line is one of the options for yarn, and it just knit up so quick. And the one that she's designing is a v-neck, which I don't currently have any v-necks that I've knit, so I think that one will be nice. And like I feel like I have kind of a bad connotation, or like bad connection. No, I guess connotation is the word. I don't know, but like, yeah, a bad connotation to v-neck t-shirts because of like the American Apparel, like super deep V, tight, like, you know what I'm talking about if you're around in like the early 2010s. But her top with the v-neck is like this nice oversized boxy top, which again, that's what I'm digging right now. And I feel like it's like, okay, I can rock a v-neck shirt and not feel like I belong in California and I'm a man with a hairy chest that's wearing a v-neck to show it off. But yeah. Okay. I have 2 more trends, and they kind of line hand in hand, but trend number 4 is high neck tops. I feel like a lot of designers, well, yeah, like a lot of the big designers, like Sari Nordland came out with the Kuutar top, the Neptune top, both of which are high neck. And I feel like, so the Neptune top, you know, a nice classic high neck halter style, I want to say. Looks, again, it's like a style that I feel like is so easy, or a design that's so easy to style. And again, she did it with a fuchsia. So she's on the high neck trend and the POP, summer of POP. And yeah, that's a high neck one. And so first off, I think the high neck ones are super flattering. And I think that last summer was like the summer of like, to me, they're like sleep time camisoles, but I do like that kind of style. And I feel like it was like camisole number 4, camisole number 2, like a few other ones, and that was like all the rage last summer. And like I myself knit 3 camisole number 4s, which I do enjoy, but I don't find them that wearable. And there's like the huge issue with the straps. But I feel like the high neck camisoles are kind of like, we hear you, we see you with your strap issues. We're just gonna make everything high neck so that like if your straps stretch, like you're still covered. And so the Neptune top, bam, there's a high neck one, and like it has that like the tube for some, you can probably like bring it in or stretch it out like triangle bikini tops. So yeah, that's a high neck one. PK, Petite Knit, she came out with the Audrey top. Again, super classic, super simple. The little I-cord straps, but it's high neck, so if they stretch like a centimeter, like you're still good. And I just think like in terms of like being comfortable going out, like bending over and not having your like, you know, cleavage show, like that's huge. Like for me as a teacher, it's like I will probably never wear camisole number 4 as a top while I go teaching, but some of these high neck ones are awesome options for me wearing like a knitted top in the summer because they're like totally, you know, full coverage of all the parts you don't want to see. The Knit Pro Girl has also designed a top recently, and she was like, I stayed up till 3 a.m. finishing it. And I think there's a test call coming for it soon, depending on when this video comes out. It's either will be a testing or there will be a test call coming out. And again, another beautiful high neck top, little I-cord straps with some lace going on. But yeah, high neck tank tops. None of those like low, like the pebble top was the only like classic traditional camisole that came out. The other ones have all been tall. And my favorite thing's knitwear. She came out with Camisole No. 9, which is like that classic, like basically as classic of a tank top as you can get, like that ribbed high neck style. And I am actually swatching for it right now. That I'm gonna do a knit along with Julia Knits. We're gonna knit together, so that'll be fun. But yeah, all the big designers coming out with a high neck top this summer. I don't think Ozetta has come out with a camisole yet, but maybe that's something we'll see from her. I don't know, but if it is, I'm sure I'll talk about it on here. And last but not least, kind of ties it all together, is bra-friendly tops. I feel like last summer again, summer of camisoles, and the slinky, sexy camisoles. And although they're slinky and sexy, they are not very bra-friendly. Not loving it. And I feel like designers heard us, and they're like, all these people have complained about not being able to wear bras with my designs. I should make some bra-friendly tops. So, petite knit Audrey top, which I guess probably you may see some straps of a regular bra if you were to wear it. But the Alice top, which I've knit, 100% bra-friendly. Great top. That one was super quick. All those t-shirts that I mentioned earlier, bra-friendly. Super easy to wear. Don't have to worry about what undergarment you're wearing. The lined loop top, which I mentioned earlier for the summer of POP. I feel like that one's also super bra friendly. And I feel like it's kind of like camisole number 5, but like I mean, it's a ribbed camisole. There are the stripes. But I feel like the cut on the top is a lot less aggressive, and so I feel like you'd be able to wear a regular bra, or at least throw it into racerback mode and be good. And then probably my favorite release that's come out this summer is Blouse No. 1 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. I just think it was so easy and so fun to knit. A beautiful construction that was new to me. I think it's elegant and timeless, and it's bra friendly. So I have no complaints with Camisole No. 4. She extended her size range compared to what she had. Let me just look at what that size range is. Yes, it goes from an extra small to a 4XL. And from a 31.5 inch chest to a 55 inch chest. And I feel like that 60 inch chest is kind of like the holy grail. So if she can get like a 5XL in there, because right now she has 8 and not 9, which I feel like that 9-10 range is like, again, the holy grail sizes, then it would be like, but she's making steps in the right direction. And honestly, that makes me really happy because her designs are classic and timeless. At least, like, most of them are classic and timeless and things that I would want to wear forever and that I feel like I could wear forever. And yeah, Blouse No. 1, kind of, I guess, like a springy knit, but again, something that you can wear with a bra, and that's timeless and simple and wonderful. So those are the summer 2023 trends that I have noticed based on my Instagram. I think the one that I am most excited about is summer of POP, brought to you by the Barbie movie. Whether or not you agree, let me know in the comments if you disagree. Barbie's not influencing the knitting world at all. Or if you haven't seen any pink, I know I am like, I feel like I'm like, have a, whatchamacallit, like a laser eye looking for pink when I scroll on Instagram, because I just want to see more pink garments because I think they're so fun. And like, yeah, the summertime, I wanted to be all about the neutrals because I was like, neutrals are timeless and classic, but I can't resist this bright pink right now. And so I'm going for it. I'm going to knit a fun t-shirt that I'm going to wear every February on Pink Shirt Day, and I'm going to rock it. And I am going to channel Summer of POP. And I really want to watch the Barbie movie, and I think, as much as I would love to go to it on release day, I also don't want to sit that close to someone else in a movie theater when it's really hot and gross out, most likely. But I think I should go see the Barbie movie when I finish this shirt, which gives me motivation to finish it like by end of July, beginning of August. And then I can rock my bright pink summer POP shirt. And that would be fun. And I can like oh my gosh, I could take a photo in front of like the Barbie poster and be like, summer of POP, Barbie influencing the knitting world. Yeah. So I feel like I had a lot of silly goofy energy today and I rolled with it. And if you like it too, let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you've seen any other trends beside the ones that I've mentioned. And let me know if you plan on knitting any of these trends. I think I plan on knitting all of them because I feel like this is fun. Like summer of POP is fun. And the other ones are like, well, yeah, they're timeless and classic. And I feel like designers are like, we are on board with you. We want to knit timeless classic pieces because we spend all this time, money, and energy knitting something. I want to have it in my wardrobe forever, and I want something to be really wearable for me. So I'm excited, and I hope that you all enjoy summer knitting. I hope you stay hydrated. I hope you stay well. Yeah, I want you to let me know what you're planning to work on in the comments below. And if you want to do all those YouTubey thingies, like, subscribe, comment, turn on the bell notification or whatever it is, like, that would be awesome. I think it's cool to grow. I get like super excited every time someone subscribes. I'm like, yes! So it's been fun. And also, if you're on Instagram, if you're on Ravelry, you can follow me at the knitting page as well. And I am planning to be more active here on YouTube, so I look forward to talking to you sooner than later. Till next time, bye!